Hi, my name is Haley Packer, and this is my parental career interview vlog. So, I interviewed my mom, and her job is a cosmetologist. And in regards to her job, there wasn't much insight she could give me into anything with the medical field, because obviously doing cosmetology doesn't correlate with medical. But there were different aspects that she introduced me to in regards to careers and owning a business because she owns her own salon. So she's been a cosmetologist for 6 years, and when I was younger, she used to work at Deanne's Hair Boutique, which was also in Byron. And then she started her own salon out on the frontage road. Well, when her business started to expand, she needed more space, and she had to move locations. So now she's over by Marketplace, still in Byron, or was Marketplace, right next to the laundromat. And I guess things I never realized within that industry and what I learned is when you own a business, you have to go through the state and through government, and that you can get heckled with that, and it's really difficult to get the permission or the permits required and everything down that needs to be down in order to own that business and keep it running. Another thing I didn't really take into account when looking at careers and that my mom really brought into light is the amount of training you need prior to your job and the amount of upkeep you need while still doing your career. Like, for example, my mom, as a cosmetologist, she had to complete 1,800 hours of training in a licensed cosmetology school, complete a cosmetology test and a laws test for owning a business. And this was before she opened up her own salon, before she actually became a cosmetologist. And now that she's been doing this job for 16 years, she still has to complete 8 hours every 3 years, 4 for the law side of it and owning a business, 4 for continuing education, in order to kind of keep a foot in her career. For the continuing education aspect, it'd be stuff like training through videos, webinar, or in my mom's case, hair shows. And I never really took into account the fact that you need to keep updated on what's going on in your industry and the techniques that are changing, the laws that are changing, everything that's changing, you have to keep up with. And that really never crossed my mind, and it was something I learned because obviously when you go into like a medical field, which is what I want to go into, techniques are changing all the time. Like the surgical precision tools of like using the robots and the computers instead of actually going in there, you have to learn how to do that in certain cases. Different medicines, different research articles that pop up, you have to pay attention, and you have to be able to prove that you're still capable of doing your job even after you've completed schooling in the college and all the prerequisites needed. Another thing I learned was things that can kind of get in the way of your career. Again, using an example as my mom, things that challenge her as a hairstylist are like things like Photoshop and wigs, mainly people asking for things that aren't achievable, or at least not in one sitting. And like for like another example, the client expectation from going to black hair to platinum blonde, it is physically not possible. You cannot make that dramatic of a change in one sitting, and that's a challenge in her field, is dealing with client expectations. Now, within regards to like what I want to do, I mean, I guess that can kind of go into account of dermatology client expectations, because let's say they come in with severe cystic acne or lipomas or pilar cysts and things of that nature. You can't always get them gone in one sitting. You have to diagnose it. You have to make sure it's benign and not cancerous. You have to check everything, and you can't do that in one day. And that's just kind of another thing I didn't wrap my head around quite. I haven't done that quite yet, is just kind of figuring out that your career and what it entails is not all it is. It's not just a job and its description. It's multiple different factors combining into that job. And interviewing my mom really opened my eyes up to that.